Hello, welcome to this webinar on managing QR code phishing and cybersecurity risk. In this session, we're going to look at how you can protect your organization from these type of risks using the Fortra email protection suite. To reduce background noise, I have you all on mute. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat feature, and we'll try to answer as many of them as possible either during or at the end of the session. After the session, you will have access to the slides and to a recording of the webinar. And you can also reach out to me by email at steve.jeffrey@fortra.com. You'll get the spelling of my name when we start the slide presentation. So, Quishing is why we're here today. What is it? And how can Fortra help you to deal with this risk? As I said, here's the spelling of my name. I'm Steve Jeffrey. I am a lead solution engineer for Fortra for their digital risk and email protection brands. I have been with ClearSwift and Fortra for 7 years. And before that, I was actually a customer operating production email systems for a 5,000 user organization and trying to mitigate some of the same risks that you'll be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So first of all, we're going to look at what the problem is and how to recognize the risks. Then we'll look at the approaches you can take to recognizing this in your email traffic. We'll look at some of the mitigations you can put in place to reduce the risk, and then we'll have a summary and obviously a chance to answer your questions. So let's define what phishing and quishing are. So as I'm sure you are all aware, phishing is the fraudulent practice of sending emails or messages purporting to be from reputable companies in order to induce individuals to reveal information that they should not. For example, giving up their passwords or credit card information. Quite often this is done for credential theft. It's also used for what they call business email compromise, where they attempt to social engineer the recipient into taking an action that they should not take. For example, paying an organization that is not authorized to be paid. Spear phishing attacks, where they target individuals within your organization rather than sending out a wide list of phishing emails to a large number of people and hoping just to scattergun the answers. Phishing is voice phishing, so this can be used to get someone to dial a voice number. We can convince someone that they should dial a number, and then they will actually speak to someone who will attempt to fraudulently obtain information from them. And smishing is another example of that, which is SMS phishing, where we send text messages or WhatsApp messages to try to entice people to interact. And then we have watering holes. Watering holes are where there is a location on the internet where a large number of people from a single vertical will congregate, for example, a discussion forum relating to a particular industry. And that's a common place where phishing links are left. So how to tell the difference between phishing and quishing? It's very simple. The texts or URLs or phone numbers or WhatsApp details that the attacker is trying to get you to access are encoded with one of these 3D barcodes known as a QR code. They are very easy to scan. Who doesn't love to scan a QR code? They are fun to use. It's almost impossible to resist scanning one if you see one when you're out. But they are completely opaque to the human reader. I'm looking at that one now. I have no idea what that contains. If I were to just scan that and allow it to open a link, it could take me anywhere or do anything on my device. They do have an air of trustworthiness. They look official. You can put a sign up or attach it to an email and say, scan the QR code. People have been socialized into accepting this as an instruction, and therefore they're tempted to do it. So, how do we mitigate the risk of people encoding phishing links into QR codes? as with all things in IT, it requires the 3 pillars. All 3 of these pillars are important in combating quishing. None of these will succeed on their own. So we've got people, process, and technology. So on the people side, we've got training and phishing campaigns where we actually actively try to teach people how to recognize phishing by using safe campaigns that we can monitor the results of. We've got process, so using things like multi-factor authentication, encouraging employee reporting, and putting controls in place around your financial transactions. These are process things that should protect you and mitigate the risk. And then, of course, we've got the technology mitigations, things like IT best practice, where we make sure that our software patching is up to date. We have strong password policies. We use technologies to secure the data in transit. And of course, I want to highlight content inspection, where we can validate URLs in emails, in images, and in QR codes. Fortra can provide technology and expertise to support all 3 of these pillars. So Fortra sees email security as a continuous wheel, and we've got these phases around the edge. We've got prevent, protect, train, respond, and remediate. And the Fortra technology solutions help you to apply controls in all of these places. So for example, we can detect the malicious URLs in emails, even if they are encoded in QR codes, using the ClearSwift email gateway. Then we've got training, so we can use the Terra Nova platform to train your users to recognize attacks and to be suspicious of things like QR codes, and not just to scan them, but to actually report suspicious messages to a service that will work out whether they really are malicious, which is exactly what our Fish Lab's suspicious email analysis does. You can outsource the analysis of suspicious emails to us. We will give prompt results both to the reporting user and to your security team about what we found. And then, of course, there's remediation. If something does make it into the inbox and you then detect it after the fact, can you retrieve any other copies from other inboxes before other users are affected? So the one we're going to focus on today is this filtering technology. I'm going to demonstrate this to you, but we can talk to you about all of these pillars. So on this people side, the Terra Nova platform allows you to provide security awareness training to your end users using very high quality content that is continually evolving. It's engaging. It has multimedia. It's not just an audio file. It's not just text. They're going to have quizzes. They're going to have videos. They're going to have scenarios, even video games for you to play to help you to learn and understand and how to recognize phishing attack. And this is vital because no process or technology solution will be 100% accurate. So you have to expect that a small tail of these types of attacks will make it into users' inboxes. So your users should know what to do if they see something like this. They should be suspicious and they should know how to report if they are suspicious of the incoming content. So on the process side, we're going to look at those basic things like making sure you have multi-factor authentication in place. This is the best protection you can have against credential theft phishing, where someone convinces you to click on a link or, as we're talking about today, scan on a QR code, take you to a login page. It looks like your company login page. They happily type in their email address and their credentials. And then, of course, they're not really on your login page. They're on a site that's harvesting that data. And actually, it will harvest it very quickly and automatically use that to log into your account and lock you out. So if they don't have your second factor, they won't be able to repeat that process and maintain control of the account. We've got corporate controls on payments here. So what I mean is the number one financial risk to your organization from phishing. Actually, everyone looks at ransomware because it gets the press. But according to the FBI, certainly in the US, there's about 10 times as much money lost to fraud where someone merely uses a social engineering attack to convince one of your employees to pay someone money that they should not. So having a process in your organization that requires all new payments to new payees to be set up using two people who must both independently verify that the email request is legitimate, preferably using a second method of verification and not just relying on the email. And of course, you probably want to monitor the dark web for information about compromised accounts. If someone does click on these things and give up their credentials, our Fish Labs Digital Risk Protection Service can monitor dark web looking for information about stolen accounts from your organization, letting you know that an attack has taken place and therefore to put mitigations in after the fact. For example, disabling or changing passwords on end user accounts. As part of your process, it is absolutely vital that you have a no blame culture. People will make mistakes. People will click on things that they should not do. They should not be afraid to report that they've done so. If they try to sweep it under the carpet, the problem will only get worse. So this no blame culture is absolutely vital to get people to report the phishing that they see, whether or not they've already clicked on it. You need to give them an easy mechanism to report it. And we recommend using a button that can be imported into their email client, so they have a report phishing button built right in there that they can click straight away if they see that. Now that could send that suspect email to your SOC for your SOC to analyze, but I'd recommend using an external expert service for doing this. They'll have faster results and they'll have a bigger data set to work with. And Fortress Suspicious Email Analysis Service can help you with that. Make sure you have a mechanism to do that clawback. If you find someone has got one of these in their inbox, the chances are that other end users will also have it in their mailboxes, and you want to be able to claw those back before the other users open them. So finally, let's look at that technology pillar. So we've got the IT best practices here, and these are all very basic things like patching and password security and using least privilege. Your organization should be doing that anyway, but it's always worth reiterating that these things are important. On the email side, I'd also recommend technologies to secure data in transport. So as a minimum, using TLS and preferably the latest versions of TLS 1.2 and 1.3 to secure data in transport, maybe even using things like MTA, STS to mandate that TLS connection for third parties connecting to you. And of course, you can layer on top of that data at rest encryption technologies like Secure MIME or PGP. But what you should absolutely be doing is some kind of content inspection, reading those email bodies automatically with an inspection system as they are received to make sure that they don't contain any known indicators of compromise, which includes malicious URLs. So how does the Fortress Secure Email Gateway help you with these URLs? Our platform can scan all emails entering and leaving your organization, or what we call the pre-delivery phase. And this includes things like antivirus, sandboxing, anti-spam, structural sanitization to remove macros in Office documents. So if someone includes active code in an Office document or a PDF, we can clean that and make it safe. You need to have flexible policies. They need to be granular so you can apply different policies to different people. Your organization will not have a one-size-fits-all policy. What's good for your finance department may not be good for your human resources department. So you need to be able to have those granular controls. We've also got these advanced features like being able to redact or sanitize document content, including images that are a risk to your organization. And that includes doing optical character recognition, which can help you to find text in images, but also that optical character recognition will recognize QR codes as well and decode the QR codes. How do we do that? We have a system that allows us to extract content from emails and break it down into its component parts. And we can do that here. So you can see, for example, if you wanted to block executables, I'm going to find that one that's in the ring, even if it's inside an Excel spreadsheet, inside a Word document, inside a zip file attached to an email. We'll break that down to 50 layers of recursion. So a zip within a zip within a zip 50 times, we will find that file. And then at the bottom of that, you can see that we've got a PNG file that's embedded in the PDF that's in the zip file, and that PNG file is scanned using optical character recognition, and any text in that document, whether it's printed text or QR code text, is extracted and made available to us for your decisions. So our optical character recognition can find text and QR codes embedded in documents by forming words in the image. But today, looking at QR codes, we need to look at how this sanitization feature works. We're basically going to find that there is a QR code in that incoming email, extract the text out, and then based on the URL that's contained in that, we will apply a rule. We might just black out the QR code, or we might block the email altogether. Let's have a look at how that works. So hopefully you can now see my test environment. What I've got here is I'm just going to very simply show you what happens when I send some of these emails through. So I've, in true Blue Peter style, prepared one earlier. I'm going to resend this message. I want to show you what's in this Word document. So the QR codes are actually not attached directly to the email. They're inside the Word document, showing you that we can find these things even if they're recursively buried within the document. So I've got a QR code here that links to Google. I've got a QR code here that links to a URL that I've called Evil Company. That is on my known malicious URLs list. And then I've got some URLs that go to internal resources within my organization. So this MFT one refers to my MFT server URL. This is my webmail service, and this is my www server. So I've got 5 different QR codes in there. I'm going to send that through, and I'm sending a copy to 2 mailboxes on this left-hand mail client, Demo 1 and Demo 2, and it should behave differently. And as you can see, that was delivered to Demo 2 and not to Demo 1. And that's because I'm applying a slightly different policy to these 2 mailboxes. If one of those URLs on the known bad list, which in this case was Evil Company, is on the email, the Demo 1 mailbox will just block that outright. The Demo 2 mailbox will deliver it, but it will clean out the content. So if I open the email that was delivered, I can open the document, and you can see that I've actually set it to remove all URLs here unless they're on my allow list. So my webmail server and my www server are on my allow list and they're retained, but the other 3, the one that goes to my MFT server, the one that goes to Evil Company, and the one that goes to Google, they're all blocked. And just to show you that that was how it works, I've got the same document here, but I've removed the one that goes to Evil Company. So if I, which is the one that's on my known bad list. The other ones are just unknown URLs. So here I don't have the Evil Company link. So if I send this one through to Demo 1 and Demo 2, it should arrive in both mailboxes because no known bad URLs are detected. But just for safety, I've blanked out all the QR codes. So in this case, I can deliver to the end user, but they won't get those blank QR codes. They'll get the blank QR codes. So here we are in the Demo 1 mailbox. This time it's delivered. It's going to blank out the QR codes for unknown URLs. It allows the ones for known URLs, but it doesn't block outright this time. It only blocks if it finds one that's on the known bad list. This is all completely configurable. I've set it like this so that you can see how it works, that we can tell the difference between different QR codes in this environment and apply rules differently. But obviously, if you want to have a conversation with us about how we can apply this in a way that works for your organization, we've got choices about how you can do it. We can block them outright, we can sanitize them, we can flag them, we can only block the ones that are on a specific list of known bad URLs, or we can just remove all URLs from QR codes. Okay, I'm just going to go back to my slide presentation, and hopefully you can see this slide, which shows you the organization of the Fortra platform in a more schematic layout. So you can see we've got the secure email gateway here is working in that pre-delivery phase of doing the deep content inspection of everything that's going in and out of your email environment. And on the right hand side, we've got the security awareness training from Terra Nova and the suspicious email analysis service, all feeding into our global inbox threat intelligence. So all those URLs that we're gathering are going into that threat intelligence service and then are consumed by the other services. So if someone identifies a new URL using suspicious email analysis, and that is identified by us as a risk, that will go into the threat intelligence database, and therefore the secure email gateway will be able to recognize that when it gets its next update. Lastly, I'm sure some of you will have scanned the QR code that I included in the presentation. If you are, you know we're never going to give up on you. Thank you very much for your attention today, and I wish you a good rest of the day, and please do let me know if you have any further questions. Thank you very much.